Hi, this is Manju Ramanan, and I'm speaking to beloved R Madhavan, who lives in Dubai, and his film Hisaab Barabar is releasing shortly. So let's speak to him. Well, the title of the film is very interesting because Hisaab Barabar can be explored in many ways. It's also got emotional sometimes. And then you actually get even with people who say Hisaab Barabar. But how do you interpret the name first?
I think it's got tally.
Okay.
When you equate stuff and it reaches an equilibrium,
Right.
then the Hisaab is done.
Okay.
But in this film, it's about a guy who's in love with numbers, who wanted to be an accountant, a chartered accountant, but his father's untimely death doesn't take up his father's job. He's in the railway station. And because of his fascination and love for numbers, he does all the accounting for people in his railway station. Yeah. Pay their taxes or, works out their taxes. Very small amounts. Now I can assure you that you have no idea what the exact amount in your bank is. Right? And I thought that makes me feel very not in control, but that's not fair. Nobody should have the ability to have access to my account.
It's invasion.
It's an invasion, right?
Yeah.
So earlier on, you have to tell me, and then I'll say yes.
Yeah.
Abhi le liya, dal diya. That was bothering me. So when I heard the script, it fit right into what I wanted to say.
Right.
Plus, this guy realizes that in our country, there are two countries. One is India,
Okay.
which is the opulence and the money and
the rich
IPLs in India and all that.
The jingoism.
In the jingo,
Not
jingoism.
necessarily.
No, I'm saying the
the
opulent.
nicer side, yeah.
No, the richer side, the
rich.
opulent side, the well-to-do, worthy side.
Yeah.
And then there is Bharat, where in the same place you have two people on the streets arguing about why should I pay you 60 paise more for the flowers, or why is it 1 rupee extra? You're bargaining and you're arguing.
Dhaniya extra.
Yeah, and they're tallying their accounts so that the monthly accounts manage and all that. So both these Indias live together.
Right.
It's only when one of these Indias interferes with the other that mayhem happens. And in this one, this guy suddenly realizes there's a discrepancy of 27 rupees 50 paise in his account.
Okay.
And when he goes to the bank to find out what it is, whether his tallying is wrong or his accounting is wrong, or whether there's a glitch in the system, they end up insulting him. And so much so that after 4 days, the peon gives him $50 and says, "Don't come back, man. Problem is solved." And this guy turns around and says, if there is 50 paise missing in my account, you bounce my check.
Yeah.
You don't care whether, I'm...
Yeah.
But now I'm saying this much is there and you're saying, you're insulting me. And he decides to dig deep, and what he comes up is such a huge scam that he ends up bringing down the financial system.
But it's interesting, though it's called Hisaab Barabar. It's really not about money, but ethics.
Yes, I mean, exactly.
It is about money, but it's more than that.
Money is ethics. At the end of the day, you can find the ethics of a person on the way he deals with money. Yeah.
Right. Also, the fact that, what about your, what is your association with numbers? Are you a number person?
I'm not best friend with numbers, but I'm also aware of the fact that history has been testimony to the fact that the richest and the most successful men in the world have always maintained their own accounts, have always never designated it to anybody else. They've made sure that they're in control of it. And there must be a secret in that. So I try to do that. Also, they say a fool and his money are soon separated. So, so to avoid that also, those are my only connections with numbers. I try to keep it as simple as possible.
But after the film, are you more careful about numbers now?
I think the viewers will view the money they have and how they deal with it very differently after seeing this movie.
Right. Interesting. Okay, you're multilingual. I'm sure you think in many languages at the same time. Do you see the same culture across India in terms of every other culture? Because you see some people it's traditionally said that some people are more careful about the money that they are, and some people are not. How do you see it?
I think most people are very careful and they're very astute with their money. Maybe some aspects of it, like the Gujaratis and the Marwadis, are much
usually
more,
said,
very good with numbers. So are the South Indians. And there are yet others who are okay with the numbers. But I think that the fact that culturally we are always taught to be conservative with our expenses.
Right.
Most of India is very, very sharp with how their numbers are, how the money is kept. As far as language is concerned, I think we are the only nation in the world where for sure one person knows more than one language.
Easily.
Which is a great, I think is a great advantage to have.
What is the importance of financial education in schools?
I think you've touched on a very, very important subject. schools don't teach us the survival skills that we require to survive in today's world.
Right.
It's not about mathematics, geography, history, or science. You need to be equipping the students with survival skills.
Yes.
Which will not just tell you how to fill up a
Which is
form.
not there at all.
No.
Largely. It was not there when we grew up.
Not grew up and not there now.
Yeah.
And so I find myself inadequate as far as my handling my finances is concerned. Because I was a science student, I still get confused between debit and credit. You know, it's just so you have to remind myself and stuff like that. So I think you don't have to teach everybody accounting.
Yeah.
But at least the basic way to calculate simple and compound interest, or
Right.
how to manage the finances, how to tally your accounts, how to pay the taxes.
Right.
These have to be an integral part of our education system in schools. Forget about colleges.
And at home too, for example, when did you start giving your son pocket money?
Yeah, much earlier on than I got it, for sure. Yeah.
And do you see, is there a budget that you handle with him or your wife does? Or
Because Vedant had a different upbringing.
Yes,
He never asked me for money.
Yeah, it was only
And
when you need.
No, he was making money much earlier on in his life. Because of his swimming, the Indian government gives him money every time he wins a medal for India and stuff. So he was quite well-to-do. So on birthdays, he'll ask me, what do you want? Instead of the other way around. But he's also very particular about money, and I'm glad that is a fact. Yeah.
Okay. Again, in a world of credit and debit cards, when we hardly look at what we've spent, coming back to Hisaab Barabar, how do you see us get more astute about actually reading the bill properly?
I think it's a basic human nature. Some people are particular about reading it. Like my wife will make sure she counts. I get slightly, I'm sure it feels like you don't trust the waiters to have put the right stuff. But she doesn't care. It's like, all these dishes are correct, and amount is correct, and you can pay the bill.
Right.
I am embarrassed because for me, I think I'm implying that the waiter is dishonest. And so I don't read it much.
So you're more sensitive. Right?
I'm slightly more sensitive. But I've learned from her that it's better to be smart than a fool.
Okay. Another, taking again the title again. Have you ever said this to anyone in life, that Hisaab Barabar abhi?
No. I don't believe that in real life, that I can ever Hisaab Barabar with anybody.
In your head, if you're not said it to that person?
No. It's not been my nature. Like I'm telling you, people have been cruel to me or not nice to me, and for whatever reason. But I only let my work talk instead of anything else. Okay. And I don't carry the burden of their discomfort that they have created to me for long at all.
Okay.
I think I'm a very benevolent enemy.
Okay, can I ask you, what will Radhe tell Shaitan?
Good one. कि भैया तेरा तो हिसाब बराबर होगा ही.
So okay. Whistleblowers have to be brave. There is a kind of a bravery and a bravado with it, which could easily slip between being not wise and... So this role has that element in it, where he's actually blowing a whistle. He's talking about a real problem. But how brave do you have to be in that situation, to actually fight the system? Everybody's corrupt, and you are the only person who's actually telling the truth, and people have to listen sooner or later. So there's a lot of frustration in the middle. So as a character, how does he deal with it?
Bravery is a byproduct of your conditioning and what interferes with that conditioning. So people can be very brave about protecting something that they think is very dear. For yet others, that might look like a foolish venture.
Right.
For Radhe, his ability to master numbers and to be particular about it, right down to the last decimal, was his identity, was what he was made of, what his conditioning.
Right.
When somebody challenges that, they're basically challenging his entire identity.
Knowledge, and his knowledge base.
Yeah, and he will fight for it. Bravery is a byproduct of that fight.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lovely. My son's studying maths and he's graduating in maths, and I could never understand maths at one point. So yes, he'll be very happy with his interview.
Yeah.
Okay, what did Radhe teach you? That's my last question.
People like my father and your father, middle class people, history has been testimony to the fact that when you interfere with their normal requires and wants and desires, and a middle class man has very limited, simple ones. He wants to grow up, study hard, get married to the right person, wants to get his children educated, daughter married off happily,
Yeah.
son should be educated so that he can support himself.
Right.
And they want to surrender and, go to the place of worship and live a happy life
Yeah.
and have a little bit of a name and respect in the
Yes.
society. That is all he wants. And the job of a hukumat or the government or the ruler is to make sure that he is given the opportunity to do that.
Right.
The moment you have interfered with the common man's basic dreams, be it Rome or France or the French Revolution or the Russia or anything,
It's actually touching that nerve.
the common man will bring down a dynasty. The power that he has, because when he has nothing to lose, you've taken away his identity, you've challenged his purpose, he will just congregate and bring down dynasties, and that is what Radhe
History has said, and this
always
is
shown.
what it is.
Yeah,
How interesting! It's actually a common man story.
it is
Tackling a problem which is common in in a world
very
which thinks it
uncommon
is.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Looking
Pleasure.
forward to seeing it, and always lovely to speak to
Hey,
you.
lovely
Yeah.
to speak to you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.